May already.
Staff will obtain and present multiple color palette options and swing type.
Oh yeah, how do I get the minutes from here? Can you like throw really far from outside? I'm like kind of southwest out of town. If you can like aim that like a paper boy or
Airplane?
yeah.
I'm pretty good at paper airplanes, one sheet at a time.
So
No,
the
not good.
pockets are always on the website under Park Advisory Board.
Okay,
Got an
I can
email.
find that.
And you get an email, but they're coming from Crystal Weber now, not me.
Oh,
That could be a little bit of it too if your email's blocked.
Yeah,
This meeting is being recorded.
Ready to go.
Are we ready?
Yes.
All right. Let's call this meeting to order on Tuesday, April 1st. And we'll do roll call. We do that. You do that, or should I just call?
You can call.
All right, Scott Austin here. George Bricker is absent. Owen Cass. Here. Yvonne McMillan.
Here.
Tyler Pellet.
Here.
And I'm here, and Seth Williams.
Here.
All right. You guys can hear us okay?
Yes.
All right. We can hear you and we can see you. So welcome to the meeting. Second agenda item is public comment. Don't have a lot of that tonight, so we'll just go on to approval of the minutes. This is the minutes from February 4th. You've all had an opportunity to read those minutes, and are there any corrections or additions? We need a motion on that.
Yes.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for February 4th.
Second it.
All right, can I
Can
make it?
You can. The city recorder did ask, and I'm saying this now, I should have said it before, if when people do motions, if you could say a motion was made to approve the minutes by me and seconded by.
Well, I wasn't making it. I was
Okay.
entertaining
So
something.
are you making the motion?
I'm making a motion.
Okay.
All right,
Approve the
and
minutes from last month.
You want to
Second.
second?
Yep.
Seth?
Somebody seconded. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. That looks like we passed them unanimously. On to business. Music in the Park planning, sponsorship, marketing, event coverage. Ooh, that's a big one. So, is that you, Chelsea?
Yeah, I'll talk about this. So most of this packet is just the packet from last month when we didn't end up meeting. Has been a little bit updated. The key things for Music in the Park planning right now, as Larry just said, are sponsorship, going over the final lineup and marketing, and then just beginning the discussion about coverage. We don't have to get into the weeds for the whole summer, but just have a brief discussion to start that conversation. We do have a concert in May. Sponsorship, we're still looking for sponsors I think we're kind of open for sponsorships, but we have this letter that kind of gives a couple options. It's on the back of the agenda item summary, which shows a couple options. It's a good letter that you could give to someone if you know someone who might be interested. If you go somewhere frequently and they like you, it's pretty minimal if they only want to do the $150 band sponsorship, but every bit helps us keep the program going. And I think this is a good letter. I did end up putting your names on it. I had it for last time, but we have kind of started reaching out for sponsorships, so hopefully you're all okay with your names being on there. But I think it looks good coming from the Park Advisory Board, and that shows your support for the events.
And so how are these being distributed?
So I've emailed this to you all, so you should
Right.
have copies of it. I can also print copies if you want to come get copies somehow. I can print them.
But I mean, how are they getting to sponsors?
Traditionally, the city's role has only been to reach out to previous sponsors, and the park board's role has been to find additional sponsorships. So it really is up to all of you, how you can help do that. If you have, like I said, if you know any organizations who are able to do that, great. Spread the word, and we can continue to do this. I did put a little note about under band sponsor $300 that if we receive them by April 30th, we can put them on our marketing materials. Otherwise, they'll just kind of be on the website, and we'll still do the Facebook shout outs, but they might not have their logo and information on every material because we do have to progress forward. But there's still opportunities for sponsors.
There's 3 music stores in Corvallis. I can take them to them.
Yeah, they might be interested. Yeah, that'd be great, Yvonne.
Anybody else have ideas as far as who we might approach for sponsors?
I'll email that letter to someone at Good Earth Pest Company. I know they sponsored like the Frolic and Rodeo in the past, and they're pretty prominent, like local business, the Kessikers. So I'll shoot them one.
Okay.
Great, that'd be helpful.
Thank you.
And I'm interested in sponsoring one for my dance studio.
Great.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so you all have the letter, and you definitely have it now. If you need the letter, you should have it in your email from me. I sent it to you at some point. If you need it again, just let me know. And they can reach out to me. We also do have on the website on Music in the Park, there's a sponsorship little link on there, and there's a form where they can just express interest. So some people, if they just want to, you can go to the park on the Music in the Park page, and they can just submit a form, and it will come to me, and I can reach out to them with the details. But yeah, mostly for help from you all is just getting them to me so that I can help them figure out the specifics, how they would do it, all of that. But yeah, I think we're on track with that, and I've sent it out to our personalized letters out to the previous sponsors, so those have gone out.
And so you're saying that if they get money in for a sponsor, they would have their name on this?
Probably not on that poster, but we do the little quarter sheets. We have room front and back for those because they can flip, so we could put them on the little quarter sheets that we put out. And yeah, like I said, Facebook, website.
Well, we can also acknowledge them at the concerts too.
Where are the quarter sheets?
They haven't been made yet.
But where are they handed out?
Wherever you all put them.
Okay.
Rose has primarily, I think you did some last year too, though. I think Rose has done kind of heavy lifting. I know she would like help with that. I think last year she had to step back a little bit on that. But it's kind of, I'll bring them to a park board meeting probably next month. And but we did talk kind of offline last month about trying to get our primary marketing closer to June, because we're not really going to start the series until the end of June. So I really wouldn't want us to put out materials in May that are just going to sit around for, they'll just get,
Right.
shoved off to the side
2
and
to 3 weeks ahead.
covered up on the,
is the best.
yes. So I think probably in June, if I could have them at that June meeting for you all, I think that would actually be like probably the best window is that first week in June. And most people know about the school concerts, and a lot of the people that come, they know they're people with family, that are families of the kids that are there. So we'll just do our Facebook marketing and such for that and get the word out.
I can hand out flyers when I'm handing out the other flyers. I do
Okay.
that once a week.
Okay, great.
Well, and the quarter sheets are nice if they have the bands on them. So as we go around collecting money at the event, it's nice to be able to say, here's a list of
Yeah.
our next concerts or the rest of the
So
concerts.
really, is the quarter sheet of this shrunk down, right?
Maybe,
Since the bands are there.
or just a quarter sheet with a list of those on there. I don't know. if we shrunk that down to a quarter sheet, could you see it?
Yeah, I actually think I did shrink this down. I mean, I resized it on a quarter, and I did have to move some of the stuff to the back, but I've already started the quarter sheet. So,
And then, are you talking about then maybe putting sponsors on the back of it then?
yeah, so we've
Okay.
we've done that before, where we have like our food vendors and
Well, it's
the
just
additional
nice if you're
sponsors.
asking for money, to
Yeah.
say, here's something.
Right.
They also have given out the Performing Arts Fund gives out some stickers. So,
Yeah, yep.
uh,
I will say just to note that the September 10th band is being replaced. So I'm in
Oh.
discussions right now with scheduling another band for that slot.
Okay.
So this will change slightly. Don't start handing it out.
So just as a review, so the quarter sheets handed out, announced at the event, and was there one other place?
We do a Facebook shout out. Yeah, and it's all on here. I mean, that's not all on there, but it does say like if you do the 150, you get a social media shout out. So you get one, thank you for being a sponsor. If you're a higher level, you'll get multiple. I think we usually do it once a month through the
Okay.
series.
It's nice to tell them in case they don't read it, in case they.
Yes, but those things for social media are on there, and then marketing materials. So
Okay,
the 300 level gets your logo on, the 150 gets like a shout out. So they can give me their logo and we make a little shout out for them on social media. But if you're at the $300 level, you would get the most bang for your buck as far as marketing goes. Yeah.
And how much money do we have from the city budget for music in the park?
I would have to look. I'm not 100% sure, but we do budget to cover the band fees with
Okay.
in the past, the council wanted it to be a self-sustaining program. So that's why we try to get sponsorships. So
Okay.
we do have money to pay people if we have to, but
It would be good.
that's just kind of the understanding is that
Yeah.
we'll make an attempt to recover those
Yeah,
funds.
it would be nice to have it self-sustaining.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So,
All right, any question, any other
I'm just
questions?
gonna say the only other subject was to touch on. I mean, this has been a big topic for us. It's coverage for the events. We did start talking about it after last season, so we don't have Lindy. Lindy was a pretty heavy lifter last year, and we do need ideas. We need ideas for how to have a couple people at each of the concerts. Just to help things, function, have people transporting the microphone and doing the thank yous, welcoming. For the May concert, are you planning to be there for May?
yes,
It's on the 22nd,
oh,
maybe? Do you want to check on that and just like maybe let me
yeah,
know?
I'm pretty sure I'll be around.
Okay, we can check in at the May meeting as well.
Because
But-
I will not be at the
Okay,
May meeting or
Okay.
the May 22nd.
so I could, and see that one.
So you could,
Okay.
you're a natural for that.
I don't know. Getting rusty.
Okay.
But so maybe asking you, committee members, what's the best way for you to say, okay, I'm going to be there? Do you want to do that at the beginning of the year and say, okay, I can be there at these ones, or do you want to do it by month? What do you prefer? Because I mean, it's important to have at least two people there.
Or do you have other thoughts for how to provide coverage?
Yeah, I think trying to commit earlier is better.
Okay.
Make it build up faster, and then having alternates. So like, okay, I've already committed to two, and then I can put my name as an alternate for another two, just in case someone has a conflict.
Okay. I mean,
Having those like backup lists might be.
That's a good idea.
yeah, so how many do we have this year? 6?
We have
I mean, not counting the school one?
6, not counting the school.
6, okay.
Yeah.
So that would be 12 people. We got, how many on the committee? 6?
7.
7? So you're right. If each of us took 2 and said, yeah, we could do that and maybe pick an alternate, that'd be a good idea too.
And so typically also although last summer seemed to be a weird summer, and I already know at least one date that I won't be here, but I do try to go to the weekday concerts. So I try to be one of the people that is there, and usually then you just really need an additional person. And I don't mind doing the talking. It doesn't bother me. Do a lot of that professionally. So I don't mind doing that when I'm there. But
Well,
what's that?
What time is that?
They're from 6 to 8. All concerts. So at our May meeting, I think we probably are going to be fine covering the school concert in May. So I'm not worried about that one. But at the May meeting, you know, we've done it a few ways. I've done like a kind of a sign up genius thing one year. I don't know if that would be helpful for people. I think it sends you reminders if you have signed up for something, or allows you to change things. That could be helpful. We also did pass, I think we're going to update on it, but we do have the volunteer program that's getting built right now, which would enable us to maybe have additional people. So if you know someone else who wants to come there, it's not a difficult task. It's just about showing up and being kind of, knowing a little bit about what's going on, and being able to just help make sure things function and have phone numbers to call if it doesn't. So we can talk more about it and just maybe brainstorm if you have any ideas. One idea that one of our sponsors had come up with one time was, if sometimes the sponsors may want to do that as a way for them to kind of do a little community outreach, have a little table there. So that's an idea as well, that it's not opportunity for them to get up in front of people and say, we're sponsoring, this music in the park night. And so, we could look at that as an option too, and see if there are any businesses that might be
yeah.
interested in that.
Well, and last year, one of the concerts, we had one of the city council persons get up and do the announcements.
Yes.
And they were willing to do that. So.
Yeah, I don't think they're planning to do music in the park this year. I think they're just going to focus on the farmer's market again. So
okay.
There may randomly be one there that would do that, but I don't know.
Well, last year they had,
They had a little booth.
Yeah, the one night that they had a booth there.
Yeah.
All right, you two on screen there, do you have any other comments about the best way to sign up, or?
I'd probably prefer the in advance idea instead of per month. I have a kid number 2 is due July 3rd. So I'm guessing June 22nd and July 9th are probably my least likely ones to be there. So if I can snag like the August, September ones, I would probably prefer to plan in advance.
And I'm just planning to be at all of them. You can use me as much as you want, and I'm used to speaking to large groups, so happy to do that.
Perfect.
All right.
Great. Okay.
We have that in the minutes.
Yeah, that has been recorded. No, that's great. And yeah, well, I will look at a way to try to effectively let people kind of sign up for slots. And again, things happen. I think the big thing is, so much as you can, if you know that you can't make it, don't get stressed and just be like, oh, I don't want to say I can't. Just let me know you can't make it. They've always worked out. I feel like last year was probably the closest to not, because I think Lindy was there by herself a couple times, and
She was always there.
yeah, so yeah, I feel like it's going to be a good season. It's going to be interesting to see how it works with the new dates. So yeah.
With Sign Up Genius,
Mhm.
does that Sign Up Genius then send you a reminder?
I think it does. I've
So
used
that
it for
might-
other things. Have you used it
That
before?
might be a
Yeah,
good vehicle. Because that's important. It's important to get signed up, but then it's also,
not to forget.
yeah.
Important not to forget. Yeah. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, any other comments on that one? So we'll see that again in May. Bring your calendars. All right.
Okay.
City of Philomath Volunteer Program.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say other than what's in the packet?
Yeah, so the only thing that I wanted to touch on, I know Rose has had quite a few ideas for things that she would like to see in the park. Several of the rest of you have also talked about it, but it's not currently ready to accept people to sign up for things or have interest, but we've made steps toward having that program. We've got like our coverage, the city council adopted policies for volunteers. So we're one step closer. I think the hope is, well, the flower basket program is kind of our number one that we're trying to cover weekend watering for that. But then also some of these ideas that you've had in the past about how to make more opportunities available for people in the parks. I would just say we will revisit that, but just wanted to let you know, here's the progress. We'll have an agenda item at some point to kind of get your input on what you all park related would like to see, just so we can get some feedback about your ideas. I mean, you all have different ideas about things to do with our parks and volunteer opportunities, so it really was just kind of informational on where we're at now.
All right. Any other thoughts about the volunteer program?
I just want to say I'm appreciative that this got through the policy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good, and when I get it set up on the website, it should be pretty easy for most people. You know, we do have some like law enforcement volunteers that are obviously a little different, but in general public that wants to volunteer, we're going to try to make it as easy as we can within the restrictions that our risk managers and insurers put on us. Yeah.
And now we all have coverage.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, no, that's good. This is the tough administrative stuff people don't want to do.
Right.
We can figure out the fun things for people to do.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, and it's almost a necessity for the city to have
Right.
something like that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the flower thing's been going on for how many years, and so
Yes.
we've been lucky.
Yeah, that's kind of the, you know, you've been lucky, basically, I think is where it comes down to. That's a good way to put it.
All right, anything else on the volunteer program? All right, then we're gonna go on to the application for there's a lot of letters in this one, the LOC, that's what?
League of Oregon Cities,
All right, Helen and Alan Berg are Vallis residents, right?
Helen Allenberg, yes.
Yeah. For the Paul J. Cochran Veteran Memorial Park.
Yes.
All right.
So, this is really an informational for you all, just so that you know, park related, that the city is submitting an application for this Helen and Allenberg Good Governance Award. For Paul Cochran Park, I did put kind of like some of the criteria that we had to look at is on the agenda item summary. The entry that was submitted, I got quite a bit of information from Eric Neiman because I knew that he would, I mean, I could find it, but I just got word of this pretty short notice. So he actually pulled together a bunch of information, which made it a lot easier to do this write-up for the project, but tried to focus on the multi-generational aspect of it. So, you know, a lot of communities have fairly similar veterans memorial parks. And some communities have combined like play areas and picnicking areas, but they're usually really large parks. And so I think what makes Paul Cochran Veterans Memorial Park special is that it's a little tiny pocket park, and we tried to make this park work for multiple uses and multiple people and just bring everyone together in that space. So I really tried to focus on that in the application. So I will be submitting this probably tomorrow. It's due by the end of the week. And just wanted you all to know, and you've all, most of you, some of you are newer, but that there's been a lot of hard work on this project, and people have been working on this for years. And so I think it's a really great project to submit for this award. I think I felt like it was the type of project that they were, talking about. And so we'll see how that comes out, but I wanted you all to be aware. If you are selected as one of the winners, they do invite you to present at the League of Oregon Cities conference to kind of have a table, present your project. That might, that would be a neat opportunity for maybe a park member to come to that if we do get to do that. So
Would Eric Neiman also be involved in that?
maybe, yeah. It's possible. Yeah, he's really been the face, though, I have to say, of a lot of things. Like he's recently been at the up at the Capitol, and I do think it's nice to spread it around. There are a lot of people. Eric's obviously been hugely instrumental, but I'm sure he would agree that he knows other people have been involved. He loves it when other people also get out and put a face to the park and the project. So yeah, I just wanted y'all to know, and I'll keep you posted if we're successful.
All right. It's due on Friday. Did they say it's gonna be 2 weeks, a month or something?
Yeah, I don't know how long. They
Okay.
probably had something in there with
All right.
the process, but
We'll wait to hear about that.
yeah.
That's great. Thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah.
All right. Any other discussion on that? Oh, we have March updates. Is that one? Go back to my.
Yes, so I've been trying to put just kind of a summary of updates on park-related things, the projects that we've been talking about, just so you can see the progress in your monthly meetings. I updated on the city park pedestrian lighting project. There's been a little bit of a delay on that. They had to pull some people off to work on the downtown brackets for the flower baskets that are coming. So I think that got delayed a little bit, but they are still working on it actively. City Park Shelter 2 with reservations, that should say restrooms, will open on April 18th. So that particular restroom is only open if you have a reservation. Just so you're clear, the other restroom is open without a reservation. The Paul Cochran Park, we're still on hold for the pavilion. We'd had a construction company who thought that they were going to be able to do it as they do volunteer work, and we're not sure that they're going to be able to complete that. So we haven't determined next steps. We don't have funding currently for it. So that was one of the things that ended up coming in at a much higher cost. A number of things on that project came in at a higher cost. So the pavilion got pushed to the end so we could, get the memorial in and the playground in. So we're still looking at options for that. And I will keep you all posted as we try to work through that.
Well, originally it was a group, I can't remember the name of it, that built things out of wood.
Right.
And it was a volunteer group, right?
Kind of, but when we looked into it further, there was a really high cost to it. So the people that come together to run the volunteers, it was a really substantial cost, honestly. So it just ended up being a much higher number than was originally budgeted. The original budget was like very, very minimal, and it ended up being, gosh, I want to say it was like $50,000 or $60,000, and it was just a lot of money for a little tiny pavilion. So we're looking at other options for that.
Like umbrellas?
Yeah, like umbrellas. Yeah, exactly. Okay, the Triangle Park project. So the swing set has arrived, which is great. They're waiting for things to dry out. There's a typo there. And they're gonna actually, I talked to Public Works about their plan after they went up there and looked at it. They're going to connect the two play areas. Right now there's the swing set area, and not too far away is the play structure area. So they're actually going to connect those so the kids can kind of run back and forth. between the two. And we did have enough money saved on a couple of things in the budget to be able to put an additional bench at that end. So there'll be a bench on the swing set side. So it's an exciting project. The roof has, I think they've just installed it, I think last week. So I think there's a new roof on it. Had some rot, ended up costing a little bit more than we thought, but that's kind of to be expected. It was in pretty rough shape. But yeah, they're progressing as far as they can right now. And then they do need to try to finish the project by June 30th, just for funding because our fiscal year ends. But yeah, they're also dealing a little bit with the soggy, they don't want to tear everything up. So they're hoping for some dry weather so they can do that. Is also getting a new roof on the shelter, and the restrooms are going to open there on April 18th.
So the restrooms there are closed all winter?
Yes. Yep. It's a really exciting time for the people who walk at Marys River Park. They want to know every year when are the restrooms opening. So Skirvin Park, the Skirvin Park and Rodeo Grounds, the grandstands, restrooms, and arena lighting are being worked on currently. As of the writing of this, the foundations were poured and the grandstands should have arrived by now. I wrote this, I think, a week plus ago. Sewer line work has been scheduled. You may have seen some closures or signs on 13th Street to complete the sewer line work for that project for the restrooms. And they're still expecting to be completed by the end of June so that they can have the frolic in July.
Oh, good. So that will be complete then, or is there still part that they have to do?
So the project ended up coming in higher than estimated, like a lot of projects these days. So they actually have phased the project out. So they are doing additional fundraising to try to complete the replacement of the other section. So what they've chosen to do is replace the parts or add the additional capacity on I think on the creek side, that's going to add the additional capacity. And then they'll go replace the other grandstands with the phase 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Are any of the old ones usable?
I don't know. I haven't really looked into that. I mean, I know a majority of them are just wood. There are some metal bleachers there, but I think most of them are those wood. It's just the wood.
Any questions for Chelsea on the staff updates?
Or anything else you've seen around parks and want to know?
Let's go back to the agenda. Board updates. Anything the board has to update on? And
Events here on?
Notice that it's shining right
Yeah.
here.
anything at
Board updates.
board updates from the satellite people there? Okay. Future discussion items, anything? I mean, we have the one as far as signing up for covering the events. What else?
I think that's currently what we have. I'll make sure that we have enough on our meetings to meet the way that our code's been rewritten, is that we kind of will meet as we have business. So
that was the other thing. If we didn't have enough for May, if we waited till June to set our calendars, is that too late?
I think we could set it before, because I'm going to try to set
Okay.
something up that you can all just sign up on
All right.
online. I can
Yeah.
do that, send that out by email.
I forgot about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you saying we might skip the May meeting?
We may skip the May
Okay.
meeting, because as of now, I don't think, we're not gonna have marketing materials that we need to discuss, that's been pretty well settled, and I think we're not going to substantially have things that we need to talk about until June. Yeah.
For the planter watering, do you have volunteers in the past that have done it, or is that something we need to start recruiting for?
So there've been, I don't know if the Lions Club has done the volunteering or just some people who are in the Lions Club have done it. So I think, I'm not sure how, I've connected with one of them. I'm not sure how many of them there are. I know, I just read an article in the paper that they're struggling for membership right now, so I'm really not sure where they're at, but we are going to reach out to them. Oh, Seth could probably update me on that.
Yeah,
What
so
would
at
you
a
like to put
past
on that?
meeting, one of the members came forward and said he would do it all. That's not necessary because other people in the club are willing to help, but they just left it. Someone took care of it, so that's good enough. I think we could encourage them to have a backup person, you know, a relief person like we're going to do with our own thing. Because when it gets really hot, you can't skip a watering when it's blazing hot.
Yeah, that's a good point. My plan, so I have been talking to Public Works about it. We're trying to get coverage for the weekdays and see if our seasonal workers can be watering during the weekdays. I think in the past, I think that the volunteers were doing all of the days, but we have a lot more baskets now, and it's, you know, this downtown area is, it's becoming a downtown area, and so we're going to try to do the weekdays, but we're going to see if we can get the weekend coverage. And I think it's like May through September into October, I think is they're up for quite a while. So yes, so my plan is to like you said, we have had some discussions with one of the Lions Club members that's done it in the past, and we're going to start there, but encourage having multiple people. Like, I think it can be a lot for one person to commit to. And like you said, if you do not go, you know, if something got missed for some reason, all of the baskets can die in one day. They're very finicky when it's hot. So yeah, so that's good. Good to know that the conversation was coming up, and I think we have a little more work to reach out and kind of make an action plan.
Yeah, 'cause I think the Lions Club is one that started it.
Yeah.
Way back when, because we used to water on Saturdays. We weren't members of the Lions Club, but we watered on Saturdays. So, and there was a bunch of volunteers, so maybe we can get some more.
I think like everything, the volunteers, there's a lot to do and a lot to volunteer at these days, and it's harder to find coverage, I think.
Kind of related to that, are the in-street planters, is that have like a maintenance contract? Is that
so right now they're still under the project, so I think it's for a year. They have to maintain the plants and keep them alive. We have talked about it, but now that they're in, I think that Public Works there's a lot.
Yep.
There is a lot going on down there. So we haven't fully, we have not fully planned what we're going to do with that. Like, we did hire an additional, like a new position that does like buildings, grounds, some park stuff, but that person can only do so much, and that down there is going to be pretty substantial. So I'm pretty sure we're going to end up having to contract some of it out. It's just a lot. So, we'll see. They are not currently, you'll notice like in the storm planters, like where they're dipped down, there's quite a few weeds and things in there. So they don't maintain those in the same way as they do like a flower bed. Yeah. They do come in at some point and remove vegetation that they don't want in there, but it's just it's a different animal and how they manage those. So I've had a few people ask about that.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, and those low ones are stormwater control devices, so they have a whole separate inspection.
Exactly.
But I was going to actually call the city and ask, because they're in front of the church, they have from the sidewalk to the road put in grass and trees. And so I was wondering whose responsibility mowing the grass was supposed to be.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about that. So I worked on a similar project at another city where they did not address that. And so what ended up happening is the property owners did what they wanted, right? Like some of them went out and removed the shrubs and they put in, you know, white rock and little flamingos, and some of them let everything die. And I drive by that regularly. My mom still lives in that community, and I drive down that street, and it's not nearly as big as this project, but it is. So we have started a discussion about that. You know, what I would do, just knowing that, and if I had been here at the beginning, is like kind of reaching out to the property owners, and like I think the city is going to have to make a decision, because I do think eventually that's what will happen on some of those properties. So yes, so it's still kind of under discussion, and I have no doubt that after the maintenance contract ends, or that part of the project, and they're done, that it's going to come to a head, right? Because they're going to stop doing it, and then people are going to say, hey, what's happening over there? And well, it's on us to figure that out. So we'll get to that. Right now, we're just enjoying that someone else is doing it.
Thanks. The other thing I noticed as I was going through town there by the dirt road, they have that bioswale in front of their place, but there's a drop off like that much. I mean, from there, which would hurt if you fell off of there.
Yeah, I don't
And
think that
so
would
I don't know if that's just, you gotta do that, or do they put up a railing or what?
That's how those are engineered, and they're putting them in all over the place in
I know.
cities. I know. It's, yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, they do eventually fill up with a lot of vegetation, and
Oh, maybe that's it. So
I think,
once it gets.
I
up
think
there-
part of it is that, and you visually are going to see like all
Right.
that vegetation.
So when you fall in, the vegetation.
Vegetation will help you.
It'll-
Like a ball pit.
It's often the blow.
It'll catch you. Okay.
Little range update plug,
All right,
if it's
all right,
okay.
great.
Our dances, which are every Monday night, we had on Monday 112 people come.
But that's a lot for that little building.
Yeah, it's packed, and it's really fun, and just new
That's
people
great.
keep coming all the time. And we moved it up to 6:30, so there's a swing dance lesson the first half hour, and then the line dance lesson a little after 7. So just wanted to let you know that it's super successful.
That's great.
Good. And that's every Monday?
Every Monday, which
And
is what makes it successful.
Who is sponsoring that?
I started that as a retirement project.
Okay.
And the gal who runs it is super good. So this is our 3rd year.
And the Grange allows you to have it.
Yeah, the
Or
Grange.
use the
Yeah,
space.
some of the money goes to the Grange and some of the money goes to her. You should come out. You have a dance studio?
There you go.
I teach swing dance, have for 50 years.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You should go
Check
out.
it out.
They're very popular.
I will be there
Yvonne-
sometime soon.
Yeah, Yvonne has done a great job making recreation where, you know, Philomath didn't have these things available, and that's why you first got on the park board, was to kind
Yeah.
of help get that going, get support, and it's been really great to see you so successful with those things.
Yeah, obviously. very
Yeah.
It's been nice being part of the park board.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
we've enjoyed having you.
All right, any other updates? Is Tyler gonna close us with a song, or no? You got those guitars hanging behind you. All right. Anything else for the good of the order? All right, we'll, 6:15, we'll adjourn the meeting. Keeping in mind, we may or may not have the May meeting, but if not, we would definitely,
Yeah, I think we're most likely not having the May meeting, so
okay.
I would just plan that we are not having it. I just do not think that we have a full enough agenda to bring everyone together.
The June meeting, though, we probably should have,
Yes.
even if we,
Yep.
and that's June 3rd.
Okay,
Um,
so we'll say
So-
the next meeting is June 3rd.
So we'll see some of you at the May Music in the Park.
Yes, which is May 22nd, Thursday. The other concerts are going to be on Wednesdays and Sundays.
And that is gonna be in the park, it's not gonna be in
Yes.
the building, okay.
Yep.
All right,
Okay.
terrific.
Great.
Anything else? Adjourned.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks.